Aloha, YouTube investors. How is everybody doing today? My name is David Yansen. Welcome to my channel. Today is October 29th, 2020. It is Thursday and it is earnings season. So we are looking at Facebook. I own them in my Robinhood portfolio. I just did a video on Amazon that I also own in my Robinhood portfolio and a few other videos. We've gone through Pfizer, Shopify, Fastly, and Starbucks as well. I believe this is the last one from my Robinhood portfolio. The only other one I have from my Fidelity account to do is Costco. I believe they report their earnings at the end of this week, or they might be November. I might be just off just a little bit as far as Costco's earnings report coming out. But I believe we're relatively close for this portfolio. I'll have to double check on that, but there'll be more videos to come regardless, just because next week, the beginning of November, I have a couple other companies that are reporting as well too. So for my M1 Finance account, I did do a video on Equinix, the data center cloud storage real estate investment trust that I really like. Check that video out if you're looking for a dividend growth real estate investment trust to add to your portfolio. I really like them. Facebook and Amazon are kind of your normal companies that you add, but as far as Shopify, Equinix, those are companies that a lot of people might not have heard of, so check them out if you want to add them. So not really looking at my portfolio this week. I will have my dividend tracker video out at the end of the week, either tomorrow night or early Saturday, well, early morning for me because I'm here in Hawaii Standard Time. We're about 6 hours behind East Coast for the U.S. mainland. So, but that video will come out, and that video shows you how much for 2020 I will earn in dividend payments, and then it gives you an estimated amount of how much I will earn 25 years out, 10 years out, and 25 years out. So all the way out to 2044, what my dividend income is estimated to be all the way out there. So I really like the website. Somebody else did put in the comments another website that I've started to look at that I'll probably do a video on a little bit later. But as of right now, I'm just using trackyourdividends.com because it's free and it gives me the information that I like. So let's go ahead and look at the earnings here for Facebook. By the way, some cards will be popping up. Oh my gosh, some cards will be popping up from some of my other earnings report videos. If you want to check those out at the end of this one, and then at the end of this video, there'll be some other cards at the end as well too for you to click on if you want to see what other companies I have for earnings report. Probably the biggest one that has gotten the most views so far is JP Morgan. That video, JP Morgan Johnson earnings report video, is over 4,000 views. So if you want to check them out based on views. So Facebook, for me personally, I bought in at $221. So not even a full share at the time. This was back May, I think, of this year, during the summertime when the stock was still kind of down. It might have even been April when I first got into them. So I'm up, as you can see here, I'm up almost 23.5% with them. Today the stock performed okay, being up almost 5%. I guess 5% is a lot. I shouldn't say okay, but Facebook is one of those companies, personally, that I think should probably be doing 5, 6, 7%. Not every day, but pretty often. So, and as far as the numbers are concerned, let's look at CNBC here. It shows you in this chart Facebook's monthly active users. Their MAU for Q3 2020 was at 2.7 billion people. So there has been some controversial stuff going on about Facebook with censoring and different companies or countries advertising on their website, and that has not, I mean, there's always campaigns, it seems like, about Facebook, delete Facebook, stuff like that goes on from time to time. I see that as personally, I see that as good news for Facebook because they're out there in the news again. With all the other social media apps that are out nowadays, TikTok being the biggest one right now, and then there's still Instagram is owned by Facebook, but still it competes with them a little bit. And then there's Snapchat, and then there's Triller, and then who else knows what other apps are going to come out as far as social media concerned. And then YouTube does compete with Facebook as well too, and Google. Any news is good news to a certain extent, so I don't see that this the news that has been going on with Facebook either having to go before Congress or having to censoring certain people from advertising on there or removing certain accounts and stuff like that, I don't think it hurts them. And the numbers show that it has hurt them because I heard all through college, I don't remember if it was marketing classes or if it was sociology classes or whatever, that no news is good news. When you are out in front of the people, you have a good chance. And it pretty much worked for President Donald Trump. Ever since the 80s, he said he wanted to be president. In an interview, I think he was at a Tyson boxing match. They asked him, they were like, oh, so you want to run for president? And he's like, and they said, you think you have a good chance of winning? And he said, yeah, I think I have a pretty good chance. Most people back then thought that he was just advertising his business. Wherever there was a camera, he was going to be in front of it, and he wanted to advertise his, Trump organization. So I kind of see this with Facebook too, with Mark Zuckerberg. He is in the news all the time. People are seeing his face all the time, and that just keeps his product, his app, more relevant. So even when my niece doesn't want to be on it because on a regular basis because I'm there, my sister is there, her mom, and other older people are there, so she goes towards TikTok or Instagram. They're still in front of everybody. So no news is good news. So anyway, the stock, as far as their earnings concerned, you can see here earnings $2.71 per share. The consensus was $1.91 per share, so they beat that pretty easily. Revenue, the same thing, they beat that pretty easily. It was expected at $19.8 billion, and they brought in almost $21.5 billion in revenue. And then I showed you the daily active users, 1.82 billion versus 1.79 billion was the forecast. And then monthly active users, up a little bit as well too, still significant, I think, 2.74 billion versus 2.74 billion. The forecast was 2.7 billion even. So average revenue per user, this is significant here. Average revenue per user, they brought in $7.89 per user, and the forecast was $7.32. CNBC website also talks about here in the US and Canada, Facebook's user base fell to 196 million daily active users, which it previously was 192 million. I don't really see that as that big of a deal. That might be because of the news that was going on, but and maybe it is more of a bigger deal because people are at home and they have more time to spend time on their phones and their computers. So maybe losing daily active users of 2 million or so is significant, but it's Facebook. The ad money is still there. Underneath Google, they're the next one as far as ad revenue is concerned. And then Alpha Street here has this website and this chart that I have been using in some of my other quarterly videos. For some reason, this one came out super small. Sorry about that. I can't really zoom in too much with it just because it just automatically showed up here on the website really small like this. Usually it takes up most of the screen. So revenue again up 22%, net income up 29%, operating income up 12%. All these numbers are really good. Advertising, as far as revenue component is concerned, advertising 21.2 billion, up 22%. Other is down 7%, and then you can see the ad revenue as it has grown from quarter 3 2019 to quarter 3 2020. So just really good numbers here. And then geographic revenue growth, somewhat down, I guess, a little bit for the U.S., but still up 19%. And then Europe and Asia Pacific basically saying the same. So operating statistics, I showed you these just a little bit ago. So we'll look at the cost of expenses. 13.43 billion, down 28%. Cost and expenses. Operating cash flow is up 6%, almost $10 billion in operating cash flow. That's amazing. Free cash flow is 5.95 billion. So great balance sheet as always with Facebook. Their quarter 4 down here, it says they expect our quarter 4 year-over-year revenue growth to be higher than reported in the third quarter. So more good things expected from them. Oh, it also says here additionally that Oculus, they have Oculus Quest 2. It's their virtual reality headset that you can play video games, watch movies, and stuff like that on, that orders have been stronger with. And with the holidays coming up, even though unemployment is high, there are still people out there with money that are able to buy and invest in, Oculus, PlayStation 5, all those other big tech gadgets that are coming out for the holidays and stuff like that. And revenue is probably going to be up for them again because of the holidays. And I don't know if you guys notice in your Facebook feed, but it's pretty much like Google. You search something, it automatically pops up in your Facebook feed. So at one time I was looking for masks, and now I have tons and tons of ads about masks. I sold some stuff on Facebook out of the house here, or out of my place here, just to get rid of it because it was kind of old. I sold it for like 20 bucks, 30 bucks or whatever, some earbuds and other things. And now I get ads popping up in my Facebook feed. So those will be even more prominent as you search different things online for the holidays. So looking for gifts for the kids or your spouse or your significant other, you're going to see a lot more ads, and people are going to be willing to pay for more ads. So revenue is going to be really, really good for the next quarter for Facebook as well too. So stay tuned for my other videos on earnings. I believe it's going to be Costco and EA, I think, is reported as well too, as far as Activision. But until the next video, everybody, stay safe and healthy. Mahalo and aloha.